Just remember, I will be there for you,
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh my lord, does it not matter who the host is? You are listening to the Rated R Safety Show. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Today is Friday, April the 17th of 2020, day 108 of the year. And only, you ready for this? 258 more days to go. So how are you feeling today? Anything exciting going on in your neck? Your neck of the woods? Wow, I am peeking there in regards of what's going on with the microphone. So sorry about that. So how are you? Having some fantastic times? Doing anything out of the ordinary? Or are you just having some fun? Or have you been able to manage to take a listen to the different things that are out in the atmosphere of the podcast universe? Of course, today on Safety FM, we had several releases that did take place. So hopefully you were able to take a listen to some of the stuff that's there. If you did get a chance, hopefully you were able to take a listen to The Hop Nerd. The Hop Nerd released an episode today, speaking with Tabitha Leeser. Really good episode, kind of long, but it was a good episode. Also, I released on the other show that I host, The Other Show. I was actually having a conversation with James McPherson from Rebranding Safety, so that did also take place today. Anyways, I don't know why I'm yapping already, because, that's what we do on the show. Anyways, you're taking a listen to us here on safetyfm.com. Also, we're available on a podcast if you actually take a listen to us later into the day, or you can take a listen or a view, if you want to take the view, at safetyfm.tv. So that's an option as well. But like we have been doing over the last bit, let's get you started with Feature Story News right away. Here we go.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Benji Hire. China's economy has shrunk for the first time in decades in the opening quarter of the year as coronavirus forced factories and businesses to close across the country. The world's second biggest economy contracted almost 7%, and given that China is a major producer of goods and services, the financial toll could be of significant concern to other nations too. David Buick from the trading group Aquis Exchange ran the numbers.
Only 10 years ago, it was regularly posting 10% growth every year. First quarter of 2020, minus 6.8%. Retail sales, minus 19%. Even online sales were minus 0.8%, and that hasn't happened since 1992. Clothing, computers, mobile phones, pharmaceuticals, plastic, all those little things like plugs and things that our builders need, they come from China. Furniture, bedding, machinery. This is quite a domino effect on the world's economy.
Since March, China has slowly started letting factories resume production and letting businesses reopen. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are promoting their campaign with the UK's National Health Service, which encourages people to look after their mental health while in lockdown. Prince William and his wife Catherine stress there's an ever-increasing need for Brits to know where to go for support or find ways to help themselves. Stuart Smith has more from London.
The campaign, called Every Mind Matters, provides free resources to support mental well-being at home and shares tips on how individuals can help friends and family. The platform's been online since October, but is now releasing coronavirus-specific content. Prince William says that for many, pressure, stress and isolation have been building up, and he's spoken about how anxious he was when his father, Prince Charles, tested positive for COVID-19. The Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, says he would encourage everyone to take advantage of the platform.
And Matt Hancock has been appearing in front of a virtual version of the Parliamentary Health Select Committee, answering questions on testing and protective equipment for doctors. On Thursday, the British government announced it would be extending the lockdown for another 3 weeks. So far, London has been the focal point of cases, and Mr Hancock admits he did think about implementing the measures only on the capital.
We did consider having a London-specific lockdown and decided that it was better to do it across the country as a whole.
The Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, believes wearing face masks whilst travelling round the city should be made compulsory, but government ministers claim the evidence on whether they work is quite mixed. And lastly, Gmail's 1.5 billion users have been warned that scammers are sending around 20 million hoax emails about COVID-19 every single day. Tech giant Google says the pandemic has led to an explosion of online attacks in which criminals try to trick people into revealing their personal data. Coronavirus may now be the biggest phishing topic ever. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Always with the self-imploding nonsense. I never get it. Anyways, how are you? What'd you think about that news? Have you been taking a listen to what's been going on? I would imagine that you have. Well, anyways, before I get into my typical nonsense, the disclaimer.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Anyways. So I have to tell you, over the last few days has been kind of interesting, of course, and people were getting in contact with me about the things that I say on the air. This would be the air when we're talking here inside of the radio station aspect, or the studio, the on-air studio, as we'll call it. Some people say, do I take anything serious that I talk about? Of course I do. That's why I talk about it. And what I find that's funny more and more is that people get offended by the things that I say. But I don't get it. I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense to me. Why are you offended? If you're so offended, why are you listening? I don't understand that part either. Because if I don't like something, I don't tend to stick around. But for some reason, there seems to be a lot of eyes, or ears in this case, on what I have going on. And I don't know why. The other portion that I keep on finding hilarious is that I have people that contact me and go, have you heard what some of these younger generation people are talking about on their shows? Yes, I have. Then let's do the flip side. Some of the younger generation people, have you heard about what some of these older people are talking about on their shows? Yes, I have. So if the concern is what one is talking about the other, why don't you guys just talk to each other? Get it over with.
Duh.
I mean, I don't need to be the mediator, man. If you don't like something, don't listen to it. The funny part that I run into is that when I ask questions of, if you don't like something, why are you listening? Because I want to hear what they're going to say next. But why? You don't care. Are you just looking for something to pick on? I thought we were trying to do stuff currently to bring us all together. Isn't that what we're trying to do? I mean, the social distancing, but we're trying to be together digitally. Isn't that the case? Let me look directly into the camera here. Isn't that what we're trying to do? Can't we all just get along? Can't we just all get along?
Rated R Safety Show. Sarcastic?
I'm never sarcastic. What are you talking about? Let's get into the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Anyways, let's take it from the top of the hit list. The U.S. Navy says that a Russian Su-35 flew through within 25 feet of the American surveillance plane on Wednesday. Yeah, you heard that correctly. Both aircrafts were over international waters above the Mediterranean Sea, but in a statement, the Navy called for the move irresponsible. So that's something to take a look at. So I don't know. I take a look at it and I go, interesting. It's very interesting on what goes on. And the other part that I find that's interesting is what all news stories are not being said or heard as we move forward. What are you not seeing because of everything being COVID-19? And don't get me wrong, the coronavirus aspect is huge on what the impact that is having on us on a day in, day out basis. But are you missing anything else on the news? I keep on wondering. I think that there is stuff that we're missing. I know that we didn't talk this week about earthquakes. But have you looked? Have you been looking at what's going on? Earthquakes and tornadoes have been kind of still the popular thing going on. Anyways, this continues. As Amazon has announced plan to test all employees for the coronavirus. Yes, all employees. In a shareholder letter, Jeff Bezos said that even those without symptoms would get a test. Bezos indicated the company would set up its own lab and testing infrastructure. After a stock surge earlier this week, Bezos also added more than $20 billion to his personal fortune. Well, good for him. Good for him. But here's where it kind of gets weird. When we start talking about this stuff, and you start taking a look, and you go, okay, the company's going to set up their own lab to test us. And that's cool to some extent, I think. But what's going to happen if you test and it comes back positive? Well, you're going to know that you have it. But then the other portion that you're looking at, how is that privacy thing going to work? Because let's be real here. When you interact most of the times with an HR department, the HR department's there for the best interest of the company. So now all of a sudden you're going to have these testing protocols inside of there where it's actually a lab that's set up through the organization. So how does this work? And I'm just asking to ask because, this is what we do. If all of a sudden I am a high potential worker that does a lot of work, I can outwork 1.5 people. Am I going to get sent home because of the fear of the spread? Or if somebody else who works with me does about half or maybe 1/3 of the work that I normally am able to do, how is that going to work? And they don't test, and they don't test that they're positive. I mean, I'm just wondering. I'm just kind of trying to figure it out as we go. Because it kind of puts it in a very, very, very weird spot. But you already know that. We already know how this is going to work. So that's kind of the fun part. Anyways, my colleague in crime over here is blowing up the chat box today. It's kind of fun. I mean, I see some other people, but shit, man, your name's coming up more than anybody else's. We'll flash you on the screen as needed. Oh, yeah, but that's the other thing. You say that I never comment about you. How you doing, sir? Hopefully you're enjoying the shaved head. Anyways, let's continue. Fires near Chernobyl continue Thursday after heavy winds complicated the contaminant efforts. There we go. While the main blaze has been mitigated, dry conditions and wind has caused another flare-up. The Ukrainian government is downplaying the real risk to radiation exposure despite significant spikes in the area.
Duh.
Well. How is that going to work? I don't know. I keep on taking a look at it and I go, these are the things that we have to talk about. So why would you try to downplay this if it's that important on what's going on? If you don't reference it and you kind of just go, oh, this is not that big of a deal, what's going to happen next?
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Yeah, Rated R Safety Show. You know you're listening to us live on safetyfm.com and on safetyfm.tv. And of course, the different video streaming services that are available. What we have done with safetyfm.tv is we've incorporated some of the different ones that are available, and we incorporated a chat box right there for you can actually go away. Now, most people have freaked out once they've actually made it to the website because they go, did you know that it says that it's 18-year-old and older? Yeah, I was there when we built the stupid thing. So yeah, I'm aware that you have to be 18 or older because I say the 7 so-called dirty words from time to time on the station. Yeah, that's what I do. Also, the other thing that's come up recently, and I'm just going to bring this up in conversation purposes. Why do I do this show at noon Eastern time? Aren't supposedly really good shows supposed to be first thing in the morning or last thing in the afternoon? So morning drive and afternoon drive? They are. They surely are. That is traditional radio. I agree 100%. Guess what? Right now, most people are at home, not really being able to go out. So that's why I decided to do this at noon. Anyways, I like doing it at noon. I don't have to wake up early. I don't have to wake up late. I do some other things. I don't want you to think that I just sit around and do nothing all day.
Duh.
So that way I have the chance of coming in here and being here and ready for you at noon because I do a lot of prep before I get into the show. Yeah, pregnant pause, because that was a lie for sure. Anyways, let's continue. A growing theory for first responders. Let me rephrase that. A growing theory was first reported on Wednesday evening by Fox News, indicates that the coronavirus did originate in a virology lab near Wuhan. Yeah, you heard me correctly there. Insufficient safety precautions led to the infected intern, who is believed to have passed it on to a significant other who shopped at a nearby wet factory. And the rest is a tragic history, according to the theory.
Duh.
So many different things have been said about this. I keep on looking at it and I go, I don't know what's real and what's not. There's so many different theories out there. And I tell you, I try not to talk about things that are not vetted, because I think it's so difficult to have those discussions, because, well, shit, we could sit here the rest of the week and talk about the different things that have come about it. Because there's different theories on how it's, these people did it, these people, these rich, these elites, and all this other stuff. I don't know what's real. I mean, what are you thinking? What do you look at and go, yeah, that makes sense to me?
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
So, I don't know. Let's continue. The Dow finished flat day over day on Thursday, closing up 30 points after significant losses during the intra-trading day. Netflix had its best ever close, finishing at $439.17 a share and making it more valuable than Disney stock. So yes, you did hear me correctly there. Currently, Netflix is more valuable than Disney stock. So just take a look at it, and that's the way that it goes. I don't know. It's just one of those things that I take a look at and I go, wow, how does this actually work? But how does it go from there? Do you think that they will be able to rebound and take a look at what's going on from that point?
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Yeah. Let's continue. Emirates Airlines has begun selective blood testing of all passengers. What? Say what? The blood test shows results within 10 minutes. The week reports, but only detects antibodies that would suggest the passenger has an immunity. And this is to comply with certain certifications that specific countries require to certify anyone entering isn't carrying the virus. So holy shit, dude. Would you, if you were actually on the verge of actually going on a trip and they said, hey, we're going to do a blood test on you before you actually jump on the plane, would you do it? Because I take a look at it and I go, that's kind of interesting, because what is that setup going to look like? How is that whole thing going to go? So I don't know. I look at it and I go pretty crazy about some of the things that are out there. I go, hey, if I was about to jump on a plane and they said, let's do a blood test, well, I would kind of probably be a little bit hesitant at first. But then I'm looking at also from the other standpoint of this could be potentially a good thing. So I don't know.
Duh.
So let's continue. The first NFL player has been diagnosed with the coronavirus. Los Angeles Rams center Brian Allen, no relation just in case, tested positive. Speaking with Fox Sports, he said that the first test positive 3 weeks ago, and early last week he still carried the virus. He reported losing his senses of taste and smell and having symptoms similar to the flu. Meanwhile, late Thursday, the Denver Broncos announced that Von Miller had been diagnosed with COVID-19. In a statement that he said he's doing well and recovering at home and doing all the safe things, blah, 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 blah. The wording on the actual thing, not mine. So what do you think? How are you handling this as a safety professional inside of your organization? I mean, here we're talking about a sporting thing, but how are you handling this once someone is reporting? How is the time off scenario working? Is it something that's actually, I mean, I know that there were some government things that actually went into place, but how is your organization looking at that currently? How are they going, hey, let's move forward and make sense of what's going on? I keep on looking at it and I go, I mean, it's very interesting on how it actually goes. So I just look at it and go, what do we need to do next? So let's take a look.
Listen to our host
of the Rated R Safety Show.
Self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
So let's talk about some of the lovely stuff that I like to discuss, which will be partially about, politics, but we'll go light. On the day President Trump announced guidelines to states to reopen their economies, and other states and countries release their own updates. New York will remain current social distancing conditions through May 15th. This is on the heels of an announced that anyone in public must wear a face mask. So that's one thing. New York is part of a seven-state coalition, unified reopening measures, which also include New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Delaware, and Massachusetts. Wisconsin's conditions will remain in effect through at least May 26, and schools will officially remain closed through the end of the school year. Now, that's the real school year, like the grade change thing, not the end of the year. So let's make sure we're clear there. Wisconsin is also part of a coalition of the 7 Midwest states that announced to join plan to collectively reopen based on 4 factors. Sustained control of new infections, improved testing, sufficient healthcare capacity, and social distancing practices implemented in the workplace. The coalition also includes Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Minnesota, and Kentucky. The United Kingdom's lockdown will continue another 3 weeks. So. What are you thinking as you heard this? That these plans are in place to actually start opening the country. Is it a good idea or is it a bad idea? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Good idea?
Duh.
Bad idea?
Duh.
Combo idea?
Duh.
I don't know. Let's take a look. So anyways, owners of casinos in Las Vegas Strip want to get open safely. A conglomerate of executives at Caesar, MGM, Wynn, and the Sands are discussing unified measures like having dealers wear masks and gloves. Boy, does that sound like some scary bullshit there. Other methods include testing temperatures of guests and metering how many people could be in there at once. I think it would be interesting. Nevada shutdown order currently lasts through April the 30th. So I have to ask the question, if you had the opportunity right now to go to Las Vegas, great place, don't get me wrong, would you jump in and do it? I mean, you can get into some trouble in Las Vegas relatively easy. Not that I'm speaking from experience.
Duh.
But I'm just saying that there is a possibility of doing so. Would you go out there and take a risk if you could? Would you? Would you do it? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's always exciting to go out there. But also at the same time, I just don't know if it's worth it. Anyways, let's continue. While you're cooped up and you might think about upgrading your computer, if you want a new Mac Pro, Apple high-powered desktop model, you'll want to be sure that you'll need it before you need to roll it out anywhere. Apple is selling a wheel kit. Yeah, you heard me correctly there. A wheel kit to add that which includes custom designed stainless steels and rubber wheels to make it easy to move your Mac Pro around. Yeah, I'm going to laugh at this. You'd receive the wheels, the hex bit, and the installation guide. What's the price tag? Are you ready for this? To be able to roll your Mac around, your Mac Pro around? $699. $699. I don't know. Sounds a little cray-cray to me. But anyways, what do I know? I'm just a guy behind a microphone.
Duh.
Hey, what do you mean, duh? Anyways, let's talk about our main news story here right now.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
So I have to tell you, I normally will sit around and talk, as you have noticed, and I kind of avoid talking about politics. I just always think it's a good idea. But here, I recently have found something that I wasn't aware that I had missed, so I figured that we needed to have this discussion today. And let's talk about it. So let's watch the video, and then we'll move from there. So let's get this. Let me see. How am I going to do this? Let's get this rolling.
And it is time for a president who understands Coldplay in the world.
That's wrong.
You got that wrong.
No, look,
I got hairy legs. I'm best equipped to beat Donald Trump. That's what your poll said.
Vice President Biden, why are you a better choice than your opponents?
I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. In the sun, come rub my legs from the morning until the day's done. Till the day's done.
We are at the end here.
I got hairy legs. Yeah, that's right. You heard what I said. You heard what I said. I got hairy legs. Yeah, man. Watch the hair come back up again. I'm the guy with the best chance to win.
Time is up. Thank
It's
you.
only 66, not up yet.
Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys, a bad crew.
Yes, sir.
I really was the only white guy they really knew. He said, I'll meet you outside. And I said, what am I going to do? Corn Pop, he can't stop. Corn Pop, he won't stop. Yeah.
That's fine, thank you.
So I'd like to talk about who we're running against. A billionaire who calls women horse-faced lesbians. You could release women from those agreements immediately.
Maybe they didn't like the joke I told.
Are you willing to release them?
Release them. These agreements were made consensually.
I'm the only person on this stage that's
got hairy legs. Seriously? Hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun.
We got other issues we're trying to get
Here's
to.
the last point I want. My time's going to run out. Here's the last point I want to make to you.
I got hairy legs. Yeah.
We are a country where there are too many people that are obese.
I am scared.
Vice President Biden, I want to start with you. Why should anyone have faith that you're the one who can get this done now?
Because I'm the only one that...
Stop. Let's talk about math. Let's talk about math indeed. Okay, so here's the math. Coldplay is the best band.
Can I respond to the... Why am I stopping? No one else stops.
Okay.
Joe said it right.
Here's the deal. Look, I think it's important that on day one, I have more hair than anyone else.
I got hairy legs.
I don't care.
Yeah, that's right. You heard what I said. You heard what I said. I was a pretty darn good lifeguard. I learned a lot.
We let this get out of control.
Lived out in Mayfield with my grandpa. We used to play basketball with Corn Pop. And he sank every single shot. Corn Pop, he can't stop. Corn Pop, he won't stop. Yeah, Corn Pop, he sank every shot.
Time is up. Thank you.
I'm not out of time. You spoke over time, and I'm going to talk. Here's the deal.
I got hairy legs.
On the 2020.
Everybody vote if you can. For your favorite woman or man. You can stream this track from Japan to Finland.
Get the song here. Have a great day and a great life. And don't forget to wear a life jacket and play zone defense against Corn Pop.
I got hairy legs.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Hey, I got hairy legs. I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. Anyways, I took a listen to it. I was actually doing some searches from some news stories, and I found that thing, and I could not get it out of my head. I played it for a couple of people around here, and they were pretty... Well, I guess they were kind of pretty excited about it, but it was kind of funny. Anyways, I kind of just wanted to bring some things down for a moment as we chilled. Anyways, that was not a serious story because I know some jackass is going to be out there, oh my God, this is supposed to be some serious information and you're not taking things serious. Yeah, we need to take a chill pill every once in a while. It's okay. And I feel like I have hairy legs now. Anyways, so as we move forward, on Fridays we've been doing this and I don't want to change it any way. So what I would like for you to do, if you haven't been with us on a Friday before, let's go through it one more time. I know you've kind of been locked up. Some of you have been locked up. Some of you have been able to work. But there's some pent-up frustration that has been taking place. And what I would like for you to do is take the next 30 seconds to scream, shout, get everything out of your system as you deem necessary. I'll give you a counter. That way you can take a look at it for the next 30 seconds and yell, scream. Just make sure that nobody else is around because they might think you're wacko. But here we go. 30 seconds on the clock. Let it all out. Okay, that makes it 30 seconds right there on the spot. Hopefully there's nobody around you that thinks that you're absolutely nuts for doing this, but that's okay if they do.
Duh.
Anyways, what do you got planned going on for the rest of the week? Anything exciting? I know that the weekend's coming about. If you don't know what day it is currently Friday, just in case. Let's continue with some of the news stories that we got going on, because I think that they're important. Anyways, no winner for Tuesday's night Mega Million drawing. Tonight's drawing will be for a $159 million jackpot or $125.7 million cash payout. No winner for Wednesday's night Powerball drawing either. Saturdays will be for about $24 million jackpot or $19.3 million cash payout. Also, I don't know if you've been taking a look, some movie theaters, yes, I did say the word movie theaters, are actually getting into some things with some of the movie production companies. And they're presenting streaming available to some. So you can actually go to certain movie theater websites and there are streaming a few films for free. Starting tonight, there is a theater known as Epic Theater, and they are starting to push out the movie The Hunger Game. It is going to be a 4-part series that they're going to start starting tonight, where you can actually stream it for free. Now, I don't know if The Hunger Game is a big deal to you. I mean, but anytime that you get to have an opportunity to hang out with watching Jennifer Lawrence on a screen, it's not a bad deal.
Duh.
So that might be something that you can do tonight. Now, I was kind of amazed that they decided to go with that particular movie, The Hunger Games, because I thought it was kind of strange. I mean, I guess it was better than not going with The Purge, but that's my thing. So just a thought there. Anyways, let's talk about the days of the year that you can celebrate today. So let's take it from the top. National Crawfish Day. International Bat Appreciation Day. And that one's not sarcastic. That was actually on the list. National Cheeseball Day. National Ellis Island Family History Day. And National Haiku Poetry Day. Do you celebrate any of those days of the year that you can celebrate? I don't know. I think so. I mean, it's interesting for some. I always look at it and go, it could be some fun times depending on how you want to look at it.
Duh.
But that's just something to think about as you move forward, of course. Anyways, birthdays are going on, of course, because, the world has not stopped, but a couple ones that stick out right away. Jennifer Gardner turned 48 today. That's the person who used to be an Alias. And then Redman. Yeah, good old rapper Redman turns 50 today. God, the more I hear this stuff, the older I feel. Just the way that it goes. So, thank you for always taking a listen to what we have going on here at the Rated R Safety Show. Guys, that's important to us because that's how we are able to share some of the information with us. Now, I'm going to tell you that today, right before I got on the air, I received a letter from a pretty big safety organization about a conference that they have coming on. And what their plans are to actually make sure that everyone is okay during their conference. Now, I thought it was interesting because it's not been the one that I've been complaining about. It's somebody entirely different. But I thought it was weird that they decided to send me this information and they wanted to make sure that I shared it with the audience. So I didn't get to read the whole thing. I mean, I got to kind of pick and choose what I was reading through. So on Monday, we'll come back and have that discussion. But I thought it was weird. Weird. Air quotes, just in case if you're taking a listen. I thought it was kind of weird that they did decide to reach out to us and bring the information forward besides, the normal. Anyways, if you do get to take an opportunity, come to safetyfm.com and take a listen to what we have going on if you're not already there. If you are watching us on safetyfm.tv, we're going to be transitioning to the radio station for the next few minutes, so you're more than welcome on coming over there, hanging out with us for just a little bit. Also, if you did like the song that we played or the video that we played earlier in the week known as The Wind of God, with Kenneth Copeland singing, it has officially been released today on Spotify. I was pretty excited when that happened.
Duh.
I mean, for some reason, there's that version, there's the metal version, pretty exciting stuff. By the way, want to give a call out because it was just referenced. Dr. Todd Lusheen turns 49 next Wednesday. So if you're one of his students or one of his close mates, make sure that you throw that out. Oh, sorry, he's already confused at 49. It's Thursday. It's not Wednesday. So that's scary. He's already losing his mind. I say that jokingly. Don't take it personal, even though I did personally just take a shot.
Duh.
Anyways, thank you for being the best part of Safety FM, and that is the listener. If you want to hang out a little bit longer, come out to safetyfm.com or safetyfm.live if you just want to stream it directly. If you're not on the radio station already, thank you, like I always say, for being the best part of Safety FM. You know who I am. I know who you are. Love you, mean it. Bye.
Duh.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
Oh, yeah, and one more thing to think about for the rest of the weekend. I got hairy legs.